7 months. That's how long ago the strike against Qasem Soleimani was authorized, according to our exclusive NBC News reporting. 5 current and former administration officials tell NBC the president gave the go-ahead to kill Soleimani if Iran's aggression led to the death of any American, provided the president got final sign-off first. Former Secretary of State John Kerry reacting today.
This is a shifting story, but so shifting that I think it's beginning to look like a cover-up over their original choices.
NBC's Carol Lee helped break the story.
The timing of the president's decision to authorize the killing of Soleimani could undermine his key justification for the operation, which is that Soleimani was planning imminent attacks against Americans and needed to be stopped.
The White House and National Security Council are not commenting, but President Trump late today is defending the intelligence as consistent.
It should have been done 20 years ago.
That's after he suggested attacks were looming on not just one, but multiple U.S. facilities.
I believe it would have been 4 embassies.
That's a specific claim, but the president's own defense secretary says he never saw a piece of evidence to back that up.
I didn't see one with regard to 4 embassies. What I'm saying is I share the president's view that probably my expectation was they were going to go after our embassies.
Now, Democrats are accusing the president of fudging the intelligence that led to the strike, arguing he's overstating just how imminent the threat really was.
The risk, I think, to our personnel has gone up, not down. And I don't think it was justified by the intelligence, at least not the intelligence that I've seen.
Hallie joins us now. And Hallie, this isn't the only news coming out of the White House tonight. There's also movement on impeachment. Where do things stand right now?
Shaping up to be a critical week here, Lester. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is expected to take the next steps in the process as soon as tomorrow. That starts the countdown to a Senate trial, possibly beginning this week.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here. And click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.